Hey guys, so welcome to your ultimate vegan cheese guide where today I will be showing you how to make a hard cheese, a soft meltable cheese, a vegan ricotta, as well as a vegan cheese sauce. One of the toughest things for me when I started going vegan was to not eat cheese. Like, it was harder to not have dairy than it was to not have meat. And I know that finding a good cheese recipe could be the difference between, you staying on a particular regimen or not being able to do that. So I thought that this would be a really cool one to show you guys. Before we get to the 4 different recipes, I just wanted to talk about, for those of you who are new to vegan cheeses, I wanted to quickly run through sort of like the basic ingredients of how people are making these vegan non-dairy cheeses these days. The first thing is a product called nutritional yeast. So if you guys haven't heard of that before, it is the same yeast that they use for brewer's yeast and bread yeast. And they've kind of made it into this version where they're kind of like little thin flakes, and it tastes very much like Parmesan cheese to me. Sometimes I'll have some pasta and you just sprinkle it over, and it has kind of that, like that backdrop, that richness from Parmesan cheese. So this is something that I know vegans will add to any really type of cheese to give it kind of that nice, rich backdrop. So for you guys, definitely give it a try, even if it's just a sprinkle on top of pasta if you're looking for a Parmesan substitute. And then along with your nutritional yeast is just some acid or like lemon juice or something. These two mixed together, this is going to create the tang of your cheese, and then this is going to give that like rich umami kind of backdrop that cheese usually has. I mean, some people have gotten really creative. So instead of using lemon juice, I've heard people, using lactic acid for the mochi cheese recipe. Some people also have started fermenting their own milk. So that kind of reminds me of like buttermilk or yogurt, when it kind of starts getting a little bit tangier that way. I think going forward, the key to a lot of kind of vegan products trying to mimic the original version is really in fermentation. Because I've played around with fermenting beans and having that mimic fish sauce and having that mimic, different kinds of meats and whatnot. So yeast, fermentation, lactic acid, lemon juice, vinegar, those are all things that you can use to mimic the flavor of cheese as well. And then just to keep it very, very basic, probably like the third thing for me is to find, like a very base type milky flavor that you like. Because in order to mimic cheese, obviously cheese is nearly, it's all milk. You have to find one that you like. So I guess it really depends on where you live. In London, there are dozens of different types of milks, whether it be like oat milk, soy milk, almond milk, all these different types of nut milks, hemp milk as well. I would say that the richest ones are usually something like a cashew milk or a very good quality soy milk. There are a couple of brands that I have actually mentioned before, but some of them taste additionally milky. 2 of these brands would be One Bon Soy for soy milk, and then there's another brand called Milk that also does a really nice job. I think that they add a tad of nutritional yeast to their milk, and it kind of gives it that additional oomph of milky flavor. To make a really creamy cheese, you do want a thicker type of like a base milk. So, whether that means finding a good version of the milk at the supermarket or just making your own milk at home. It's so easy, like with oat milk, with nut milk, with soy milk. It's essentially you soak the beans or the nuts or the oats, I guess, overnight, and then you blend it with some water and you strain out all of the stuff inside. Like that is what a plant-based milk is. It's the plant, the water, and then you strain everything out. So it's super easy to make, and with those versions you can make it creamier, you can make it thicker and more flavor heavy for any of your cheeses. And people have used a ton of different like ingredients to mimic the texture of cheese, be it starches or agar to like really firm it up. We've used mochi, which is actually like glutinous rice and glutinous rice flour as well, just to get that stretch. So there's really a ton of different things to work with here. Of course, you can add any flavors that you want, be it like liquid smoke or paprika, or different kinds of spices, and that makes it easier to have it taste like the original version because you have all of these flavors masking all of these other flavors. But yeah, that's basically kind of like the foundations and a really nice basic intro for now. So I hope you guys all enjoy these 4 recipes. So these 4 vegan cheeses each have their own full videos. So I will put those links down below, but I just wanted to quickly go through those with you so that you guys can get a gist of it. This first one is a super easy nut cheese that you can put in sandwiches or also with crackers as well. And you start off by just melting the agar, which is derived from seaweed, with the nut milk and also some of the oil. As you're processing and pureeing the nuts, you just add this liquid in and puree it until it's smooth. This next cheese is an all-around creamy cheesy sauce that you can use for your mac and cheese or to top your nachos. And best of all, it's actually made of squash. Doesn't totally taste like it, but it's made from vegetables and super easy. You just cook the squash until it gets nice and soft, mix it with all of the ingredients, and then puree until smooth. And just mix it with anything, and it's absolutely delicious. This next recipe, as you can see, is a vegan ricotta, and it uses yogurt along with tofu to get it nice and creamy. It is one of the best vegan ricotta cheese recipes that I've tried. Super easy, put everything into the food processor and puree. But the secret to this recipe is to really pick good quality ingredients because there are so few. So pick your favorite creamy soy yogurt or pick your favorite non-dairy milk, and that is really going to make all of the difference. This next mochi mozzarella recipe is really the one that won everyone over, and it starts off with some miso and some oil, and I'm just trying to get everything nice and smooth. But miso is another ingredient, just like nutritional yeast, that sort of adds like an umami savoriness to cheese, and you will see that a lot as well. So just get this mixture nice and smooth, and then we're going to cook it until all of the starches thicken up. And for this particular recipe, we use glutinous rice flour as well as tapioca starch. And then you get it into a blob like this, let it firm up into the refrigerator, and then you can shred it up and use it just like normal mozzarella cheese. And it stretches really well too.
Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Remember that each of these recipes do have their full videos that, tell you about the method and the ingredients in depth. So definitely check those out. I hope you all have had an excellent cheese week with me, and if you want to see more videos like this, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys all again next time. Bye!